Okay, we're nearly through to the end of June, and I wanted to give you my top 10 albums of the year so far. Now, before I start, there's inevitably some records that I've missed already this year, but we still have time to catch up. So make sure you're down there in the comments. Let me know what I've missed so I can get to it before we do this again at the end of the year. Now, without further ado, actually, with a little bit of ado, we're nearly through 375,000 subscribers on the road to 400k. If you haven't yet, please do subscribe. Join the team, Team D. Otherwise, let's do this thing. Number 10 then, Future, I Never Liked You. After a decade in a game and a release cadence that would make even Logic wince, it's amazing Future can still deliver at this level. But even though this is still Pluto very much in his lane, there's a fire and energy here that was very much absent on that weird record that he did with Lil Uzi Vert that we don't really talk about, and indeed his last full-length LP, High Off Life. The track with Drake and Thames is all over the radio over here, which is great, to be honest, and I'm sure it's the same in the US, but the consistency throughout the whole album is impressive. He even makes a song where he says chickens, chickens, chickens over and over and over again work. I don't know how he does it. The most influential artist of the last 10 years. I'm sticking my flag into the ground on that one. Number 9 then, Soul Glow, Diaspora Problems. File this one under wish I'd reacted to it. I threw this record on after hearing about Fantano's high score, and I was blown away by the energy, the intensity, the visceral feeling that I got from listening to this incredible blend. It's like a sprinkling. It's like a sprinkling of hip hop energy on otherwise raw, fiery, hardcore punk. Lead singer Pierce Jordan's eye-opening delivery just smashes through the speakers like an elbow from, well, I was gonna say an elbow from John Jones, but we don't want to think about John Jones smashing anybody at the moment. Yet amongst all the chaos and lyrical bite on Diaspora Problems, there's a kind of summery warmth to this record, an almost joyous vibe, like the euphoria of being trapped in a flea pit venue, bouncing, smashing your body off strangers in the dark for an hour. Terrific. And I'm actually seeing them in September. So for my old breaking down body, kind of terrifying as well. Number 8, 070 Shake. That is difficult to say. You Can't Kill Me. A soaring marriage of her own moments on Yay, which of course she had a couple of tracks on, and Travis Scott's Rodeo, thanks to production from Wonder Girl and the Everstone legend Mike Dean. 070 Shake delivers a sound wave bath on this record that may or may not be about her relationship with Kalani. It's a much bolder and confident album than her previous work, Modus Operandi, and in a world where Kanye is releasing music on a rubber ball, Travis is occupied, and Kid Cudi's getting baked and drawing cartoons, 070 Shake is carving out a really nice little niche for herself in this like synthy, trappy, spacey swirl genre that we all fucking love so much. Number 7, Saba, Few Good Things. Supremely polished, sonically gorgeous stuff from the Chicago-born lyricist. While it's a less stark and perhaps a less impactful record than his previous one, Care For Me, nevertheless, there's plenty to get stuck into in tracks like One Way and Fearmonger, and almost every song is backed by sumptuous production, beautiful world-class mixing, engineering, mastering. It's a tremendous album on the ears. In fact, it's actually one that's so consistently good, it's almost easy to forget in a strange sort of way, perhaps because it doesn't have those real impactful moments like a Prom King, like a Life on his previous album. But there's a consistency and quality here that really says that Saba should be about 10 times bigger than he is. Number 6, Denzel Curry, Melt My Eyes, See Your Future. It's so hot in here that I am seeing my own future and literally my eyes are melting. This album has kind of been overshadowed by the megaton releases that have come out since. But Denzel's album is an essential revisit, or a first time visit if you've never heard it, thanks to its woozy cinematic production, its genre hopping variety, and Curry on fiery forms. He punctuates every track without ever going full Denzel like we know from Sumo or Black Metal Terrorist. Instead, there's a thematic and sonic maturity on this record and in Denzel's own delivery that further pushes him up the like best rapper ever, best rapper in the game ladder, going too high there. Walkin' was an early standout, the first single, but don't sleep on John Wayne, on Worst Comes to Worst, on Zatoichi, which features a screaming slow tie over a wild drum and bass break. Protect Zell at all costs, he is a phenomenon. Number 5, or should I say numero 5, is Rosalia with Moto Mami. I love saying that. The Spanish superstar listed Yeezus as one of the major influences from this record, and you can hear it in every atom of this absolutely wild album. Genre be damned, Rosalia is jumping from bachata to trap to flamenco to MDMA gurning EDM to classical singing, often on the same song. Her talent is insane, her creativity even more so, and in another year, honestly, this would be top of my list. Some fans have complained that she's moved too far away from the style and sonics of her previous album, El Mal Querer. I can't say that as well as Rosalia. But for someone like me, who appreciates the shock and awe insanity of this rule-breaking, rule-defying record, I love it. I still have no idea what she's saying, but seemingly nor do any of the Spanish speakers out there, so it doesn't matter, no problema. Number 4, Pusha T, It's Almost Dry. Listen, I fucking love this album. I wouldn't be surprised if this actually ends up as my most listened to album of the year. And I think it's the most listenable rap record of 2022 so far. Pusha T is a wizard of flow, of cadence, of presence, of timing, of delivery, and his lyrical ability is forever underrated because of his insistence on always rapping about cocaine. But delve deeper and there is pain and anguish in amongst the bravado and the luxury and the threat that is present on this record. Pharrell and Ye split production duties, and I still haven't decided who came out on top because my favorite track keeps changing. One thing that doesn't change though is my love for Cocaine's Dr. Zeus, the Arthur Fleck of the street rap game, King Push. Number 3, and it is The Weeknd with Dawn FM. There is a special relationship between myself, The Weeknd's music, and so many people that watch my videos. Big releases almost always translate to big views on my channel, but when The Weeknd drops, it's different. It feels different. The excitement among us all when After Hours and then Dawn FM dropped was magical. And I just have to give praise and thanks to the love and support that I've had over the years from the XO community. And once again, Abel delivered. The first few tracks on this album were so good that I was losing my mind on first reaction. The references to a specific era of British 80s music that I used to hear as a little boy in the house and car meant that I had a deep connection to these tracks. They also absolutely slap. Eventually the album does evolve into ballads like the spectacular Out of Time, or the broader Cynthia number like Is There Someone Else? And it's all narrated by the captivating, haunting, amazing performance of Jim Carrey as the drive time DJ on this car trip into this car journey into purgatory. What a sublime concept the whole thing is. It's not The Weeknd's best album, but his evolution from underground wild child to legitimately one of, if not the biggest artist in the Western world is happening right in front of our eyes, and he's not missing a step. Number 2, Kendrick Lamar. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Do me a favor. Either right now or preferably when you finish this video so we can get the watch time up for the algo, go and put on Father Time from this record and see what happens to you, because if you don't get chills, if you don't get that overwhelming feeling that you are witnessing one of music's, one of this generation's, but in fact one of musical history's great artists, that I don't know if this conversation's gonna work. I don't know if me and you are gonna connect. Mr. Morale is challenging, it's confusing, confounding even, but it's also deep and thrilling and gratifying and supremely important. A lot of the conversations being had about mental well-being, about trauma, about therapy, how that relates to Kendrick as an artist, how he's perceived in the world with his family, how that also is interconnected with his own family dynamics going back. It's an extremely important record. I've spoken at length about the album on my first reaction, on another video, and in a long video with the amazing Mallory brothers. And honestly, it'll still take a number of months, I think, to truly settle into my thoughts. This is a record of bold musical and thematic choices. And while I don't think every single one of them works, with every listen, my understanding and my appreciation for Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers continues to grow. Guys, we are living amongst greatness right now. Appreciate it, enjoy it, because this shit hard. Number 1 then, Black Country, New Road, Antrim up there. If you told me that a post-rock record from a lesser known kind of arty band from Cambridge in the UK was going to be my favourite record of 2022 so far, I would have said that's interesting, now leave me alone. But here we are, this soaring, triumphant, impossibly layered masterpiece is my number 1, and honestly it's going to take something incredibly special indeed to knock it from its perch. I'm so grateful that so many of you recommended this to me in my comments, despite it not typically being the music that I'd associate with my channel or my audience. But I'm also so grateful that I stuck on the camera for that first listen. And if you want to see that reaction, by the way, I don't know if you knew this, I have another channel, a new channel, it's called JD Rocks, covering this type of music specifically. I'll link it down in the description, jump across, subscribe, check out the videos, trying to get it up, but being able to relive those moments myself, and hopefully you guys can relive some of your first moments from listening to this album, kind of by proxy through that. I know I do that with other reaction videos, that's a blessing. This is a band of incredible talent that have produced 2 masterpieces in under a year. before singer Isaac had to step down for health reasons, yet they persist and seemingly have almost another album's worth of music ready to go. I don't get it. And as for the album itself, these are songs of such scope and brilliance, with such wit and melancholy and charm and pain. Pulp social commentary mixed with the ambition of early Arcade Fire, deeply complex, yet totally accessible, unlike the similarly brilliant Black Midi. One of those rare times where a group defies conventional logic and almost explanation just to sight and experience to behold. Okay then, that's my top 10. As I said, if there's anything I missed, I want to see you down in the comments so we can get all these albums in before the end of the year. If you haven't subscribed yet, we're on nearly 375k. I reckon we can get 400k before the end of next month. Let's get on it. Jump on, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. All right, peace.